Today, I'm going to talk about how to talk to girls without being awkward. Now, knowing how to talk to girls sounds ridiculous, like you literally just have to go up and talk to a woman, right? But I think a lot of guys struggle with this more than they'd ever admit, and I know that because I used to be terrible at talking to girls myself. My first time asking a girl out ever was probably one of my most awkward interactions of all time, and it's probably not even close. And the problem is, when you're scared of being awkward or getting rejected, you can end up avoiding talking to girls altogether, which obviously makes you even worse at it. So today, I want to break down this somewhat simple concept of talking to a girl and how to actually get comfortable talking to girls, what you should be doing when you first approach them, and how to take away a lot of the pressure you're putting on yourself so that you're able to do it with more ease and more enjoyment. To start, I want to start with a story, and it is this story of how I first asked out a girl, the first girl I ever asked out. For context, we knew each other. We had been in school together for a while. I had had a crush on her for years, probably started back in middle school, and we finally were around each other more in high school, and I asked her out just straight up. There was no build up, there was no banter, there was no relationship, there was really nothing. I knew her first name, she knew my first name. I knew a little bit about her as well, but other than that, I just straight up asked her out. I'd never really talked to a girl at that point in any romantic context, at least. Like, of course, I had a sister and a mom growing up a little bit, but outside of that, and cousins and some friends from time to time, I never really talked to girls like that. And so it was awkward. It was terrible. I literally just walked up to her and asked her if I could take her on a date. I complimented her first, but that was about it. And looking back, I probably could have handled it a lot better. I probably could have been a little bit more smooth. I probably could have built a little bit more of a friendship before I just straight up shot my shot. But I shot it, and it went well. She said yes, and that was great. And we went on a couple of dates. Those dates didn't end well, which is what it is. But the point being is I actually put myself out there. And again, it's not that I was perfect with it. I mean, I did get her number, and I did get to take her on a date or two, although it didn't go well, right? I did get that point of it, which is great, but that wasn't the objective. The objective wasn't to find my wife that day. It was to get comfortable asking girls out. It was getting comfortable with talking to girls. And that's really the first thing you need to understand is if you want to get better at talking to girls, you actually have to talk to girls. You actually have to approach women. There are practical things that can help, right? If you're going to go and ask a girl on a date, you can do some deep breathing before, or prepare yourself mentally, or just have a first line that you're going to say, right? Those things can help. But eventually, you're going to have to go in and rip the Band-Aid off. And that's really the truth here is the only way you're going to get better at talking to women, better at talking to girls, is by actually talking to them. You can't think your way into becoming confident. You can't force your way into being comfortable talking to women. The only way to really do it is to talk to them. It's like developing a muscle. Your first attempts probably won't be good. My first few attempts were absolutely horrid, as you heard about, right? But that's completely fine. It's just how it works. So like some guys in middle school, right, they've been shooting shots since they were in 5th grade. And so by the time they're in high school, you think they're this confident guy. They weren't always that guy. They had fails, they had flaws. And some guys you might look at in college, they might be the biggest players in the world, but that just means that they had experience back in high school doing it, right? And for me, I was awkward in high school. I was a little bit more comfortable at the beginning of college, but later in college, talking to girls was just like talking to my friends or talking to my family because I had just gotten so used to it. Again, I developed the ability to be able to be confident talking to women through the repetition, through growing that muscle, right? And so if you're watching this and thinking, I'll never be able to do that, I genuinely don't believe it's true. I was once that guy, and confidence came from doing it repeatedly, not magically becoming a different person. I didn't transform overnight. It took multiple times getting rejected. It took times where it just didn't go great to get comfortable with it. But that being said, there might be some ways that we can ease this process a little bit because some people think that you have to just jump in, cold plunge, complete ice water, just jump into the pool and see what happens. Like go up to random girls at the mall and just start shooting your shot asking for numbers. And while you could go ahead and do that and it'd probably get you comfortable pretty fast, there are safer ways you can go ahead and do this. The first thing and the main thing is to start talking to girls just without the romantic intent. Don't immediately make every interaction with a woman like, is this the girl I'm gonna date? date? Is this going to be the girl that gives me her number? Does she like me? Do I like her? Just start with a normal conversation, man, and it's not that deep. Just talk to girls in your classes, at work, at the gym, when you go to freaking Dairy Queen to get a Blizzard, the cashier there, or McDonald's, right? Like, they don't even have to be girls that you're relatively even attracted to. You just have to start talking to women. And I know that sounds stupid and it sounds silly, and I know there's like the joke out there that, dude, I'm just scared of girls, but in reality, a lot of guys really are, and the only way you're going to overcome that fear is by approaching them and talking to them. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be simple compliments. It can be simple small talk. And maybe if those conversations lead deeper, then that's great practice too. But overall, you just have to start dipping your foot in the pool. And this is a great way of doing that. Make eye contact. Say hey, say thank you. Make small talk. Ask a simple question. If you're holding the door open, she says thank you. Look her in the eyes and say, you're welcome. Don't just go and then walk in after her, right? You know what I mean? You're building the social muscle before asking it to perform under pressure, and that's really key. Again, Stephen Curry didn't get placed into the NBA Finals. First, he had to practice, then he had to play some games, then he had to win those games, and then he went to the finals. LeBron didn't start in the NBA Finals either. Tom Brady didn't start in the Super Bowl. He started as a bench player on Michigan and then worked his way up to being starting quarterback in the NFL, and then he still had to make it to the Super Bowl, right? They practiced and played smaller games first, and that's what you can do right here as well. You don't have to go from zero to asking your dream girl out. Build yourself up gradually, and naturally, you're probably not going to meet your dream girl in middle school, high school, and frankly, sometimes you're not even going to meet her in college. And so just building that rep, building that muscle can really help over time. And again, once again, the only way you're going to get better at talking to girls is by dipping your foot in that pool. That being said, another part of this story is you're probably more afraid of rejection than girls themselves. The girl usually isn't the scary part. It's what you're imagining will happen if it goes wrong. She will reject you, so you're going to feel less than. She'll think you're weird. You're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to get shut down. You're going to feel like a loser. She's going to screenshot your text message and send it to her friend group and bully you, right? Like, those are the things you're scared of. You're not scared of this girl. She's not going to turn into a shark and eat your head. That's not how it's going to work. Maybe some girls would actually do that, but most girls won't because they're not superhuman. That being said, all right, that was stupid. Most girls aren't going to freak out because you started a normal conversation. And if they do freak out because you went up to them and started a conversation, that says way more about them than it says about you. A conversation is not that deep. Now, if you're going up to a girl, catcalling her, hitting on her, doing all that crap, okay, yeah, she might react a little negatively and she might not want to have that conversation, and that part is probably on you. But if you go up to her and ask her how her day is or whatever, I don't know, something small, right? She's not going to react negatively, and if she does, that's on her. Again, if somebody doesn't want to talk, that's okay, but don't interpret every rejection as evidence that something is wrong with you. Oftentimes when you get said no to a date or a first date doesn't go well, you automatically put it on yourself. But sometimes it's on her. Maybe she's not ready for a relationship. Maybe you guys just don't connect that well, and that's okay. You don't need every girl to like you. You just eventually need to find a girl who likes you and you like back. And it's really that simple. But another way that you can also take more pressure off of the situation of going up and talking to girls is stop treating girls like they're the prize. Guys often think, I need to impress her, I need the best pickup line, I need to riz her, I need to be this perfect person that she's looking for. But that's putting her on a pedestal. You're acting like you're auditioning for a role. You're auditioning for a relationship with this girl. That's down bad behavior. You are like a dog on a leash because she's going to either pull you around or she's going to abandon you. And in both situations, those are absolutely terrible. The main thing that you need to learn, and this is something that one of my roommates told me a while back, and it sounds so simple and it's so stupid, but it's so true. He said that girls like guys just as much as guys like girls. I know it's simple, but it's true. If she truly likes you, if she truly wants a relationship, then she's going to be nervous too. She's going to want to impress you too. She's going to care what you think about too. She'll be nervous too. And oftentimes we as guys build up this idea that it's on us to, change her mind. It's on us to make the first move, I think. It's on us to ask her on a date. It's on us to be presentable and nice, right? But it's not on us to convince her to like us back. That's not how it works. And although social media and movies even sometimes can portray it in that sense that we need to be doing that, that's just not how life works. Think about it for yourself, right? There's probably probably girls in your life right now that you might be friends or classmates or coworkers with. No matter what they did for you, unless they maybe gave you $1 billion, are you going to like them? Probably not, because you don't think they're attractive. You might not have a good time with them. You might not see a future with them, right? There's no amount of things that they could do in a 2-second interaction while asking for your phone number that's going to make you say yes to them. Because simply, we usually make up our decision in our own heads before there's ever even an interaction, because we have this phenomenon called physical attraction. If you don't find somebody cute, if you don't find somebody hot, if you don't find somebody handsome, if you don't find them sexy, you're not going to date them, because that's the starting point. And so the first level is getting in that door physically, but then there's an emotional and a relational aspect that you have to build as well. And so you're not going to be able to convince a girl to be able to do all those things for you, just like a girl wouldn't be able to convince you to get into a relationship with them. Again, you don't have to convince a girl to like you. You're not trying to win her over. You're trying to find out if you like each other. And that's going to completely change the pressure you put on every interaction with every girl you talk to in the future. Again, you don't need the perfect pickup line. You don't need perfect riz. You don't need a perfect joke. You don't need a perfect conversation. Obviously, don't be an intentionally rude weirdo when you go to talk to girls. But one imperfect sentence isn't going to ruin everything. At the end of the day, if she likes you, she's not going to suddenly lose interest because you stumbled over one sentence. When I met my girlfriend that I'm currently with, there was nothing that I said that was perfect. It was honestly kind of awkward and terrible still, even though I had all this experience. But she just liked me for who I was, and I liked her for who she was. Chemistry matters way more than a perfect script. It's way more natural, and it's way more loving, and it's way more caring. Again, a good first date isn't one where you guys are just having this great banter like a perfectly written movie script or a book, right? It's when she's nervous, you're nervous, you both want the other person to have a good time, and you're both genuinely interested in each other, asking great questions and having good, thoughtful, fun conversation. A good relationship isn't one person successfully convincing the other person to like them. It's two people realizing that they like each other, and it's really that simple. Again, to bring everything together, talk to girls, take the pressure off. You're not auditioning for her. She's not some prize. And then find mutual interest. You want a girl who likes you and a girl you actually like. It's okay if you're awkward right now. It's okay if you've never asked a girl out. It's okay if your first attempt goes terrible. You aren't behind forever, but you need to start today, because the longer you put this off, the harder it's going to become. I was awkward once, but the difference is that I actually went out and did something about it, and it's that simple. And if you want more dating advice, I put together a full 26-minute video covering everything I wish I knew about dating in my 20s. So if you want to get better at dating, click this video right here and check it out. Peace.